When I first started Full Sail University in 2015, I was working at a job that really made me unhappy. Working the night shift, I felt drained and needed a change of pace. I started at Full Sail University in September of 2015 after researching and finding the university site. I realized that I had seen a vending booth at Extreme Thing in 2013 in Las Vegas and had grabbed a pair of sunglasses after filling out my information. I became curious about what my life would be like had I fulfilled my inner yearning to complete any degree. I met a friend who worked in public relations for food and beverage, holding accounts with prominent Las Vegas restaurants on the Strip. Although the aesthetic appeal of the cuisines thrilled me, I was more interested in the digital media campaigns that brought guests into these restaurants. I would say at this time I had feelings similar to one of the principles from Cialdini's Weapons of Influence. Consensus is the act of an individual or people who look to the actions of others to determine their own. I was romanticized by her lifestyle of food, travel, and consumer engagement, but I wanted to find a career path that suited my lifestyle with the same industry. In 2016, I designed a vision board in aesthetics and theory of communications. I tried to visualize what the consumer might want from a media piece they view, considering the feelings portion of their brain, where vibrant colors and aesthetically pleasing elements such as time movements with sound can trigger memories of past social experiences, forethoughts, and/or actions.
I would never let anything stand in the way of making sure that you accomplish what you seek to conquer. Accomplishing your goals takes hard work and dedication.
I also learned a lot about making creative videos and how to shoot them with the help of my advanced video course, where I was challenged to take a rough cut brand video and elements of special effects, music, and audio to create a well-rounded media piece. Revisiting the video, my attention was focused on the action in the video rather than the dialogue. The goal of this media piece was to stimulate the thinking portion of the brain, where judgment and situational analysis are among various working parts. I wanted the audience to get a sense of urgency and reflect on their outdoor activities. Am I active enough? This music makes me want to go outside and run. Essentially, creating a call to action without blatantly saying so while still representing the client banana boat. I think that if I were to have recorded the dialogue in my closet rather than in my open bedroom, I would have had better output of sound. Since the scene is set during the day, I picked high energy music to intensify the practice session. The additional soundbite is meant to trigger the feeling portion of the brain, where social experiences, such as being in gym class, exhausted, is relatable to the audience. I really like this project because with one piece of information, I was able to form a media campaign for a brand that could be relatable to a target market. It was a pretty fun experience. In 2018, I started to analyze how intellectual property works. By creating a fictitious company, Living in the Light, I had learned about the process of registering a company as well as the intellectual properties that you are entitled to. Looking back, I think that this process of verification gave me the most help when it comes to starting a business, only because without credibility, there is no trust. Generally, people tend to not trust things that are neither talked about nor known for any specific thing. We tend to like things that others like because of their credible expertise. Cialdini's number 3 weapon of influence, authority, states just that. People follow the lead of those who appear to be credible. People look for the seal of approval and need to know that the business they choose to be a consumer for is not only trustworthy, but reliable. And having a great level of consistency can go a really long way. Up until this point, I had no idea that throughout this whole process, I had been exposed to brain-based strategies all along. The term neuromarketing was foreign, and the idea that certain elements of ad campaigns can affect our purchasing behaviors blew my mind. Stepping into week 1 of media sociology, I had a rocky start to my week. Learning about persuasive marketing strategies was a refreshing start. Understanding the various triggers placed in media campaigns opened my eyes to the television shows, magazines, and other media sources I've been interested throughout the years. Learning about Robert Cialdini's 6 Weapons of Influence, I reflected on how we come to like the things that we do. According to Cialdini's 5th persuasion technique, liking, our interests are influenced by the people that we know and like. Reminiscing on my execution of this project, I should have focused more on how the brain-based strategies influence us instead of just giving general information about the portions that attributed to the media pieces I chose. In week 2, we focused on persuasive media and how specific strategies can persuade the audience's buying behaviors, ultimately converting them into consumers. I created a media piece for Bath Magic Incorporated, where I was to redo their homepage to make it more consumer-friendly. When I first chose the site, I was a little overwhelmed with its layout. Although it didn't say much, the text and information displayed seemed to run all together without any separation of what the company is doing for the consumer. Why should they trust them? What keeps people coming back? I wanted to focus on the engagement in which a company relies on for new business. Adding the testimonial portion of the site was my favorite because it showed the social proof of the company, solidifying that they have been used before and that their customers were satisfied with their service. Had I had paid more attention to the video I submitted, I would have noticed that at the 45-second mark, that a few of the key text elements I was focusing on were not displayed in the final cut. By week 3, I had recognized that the media landscape had changed drastically since the late 90s. Due to our technological processes and advancements, the emergence of phantom syndromes within our being have increasingly altered the way that we live. Phantom vibration syndrome and the filter bubbles that categorize us on social media and depict what we see are the key focal points of my week 2 project. Specific elements of how we use social media is essential. It's like a drug to us, releasing feel-good chemicals in the body such as dopamine, serotonin, or oxytocin. I feel as if I only focused on more of the brain-based strategies attributing to the filter bubble and phantom vibration syndrome, and the content in which we search for would have helped me grasp these ideas and theories better. I still feel that I do not fully understand these ailments we face with social media to its full capacity, mainly because I practice the unplugging method regularly. I can see how others can be susceptible to it, but for myself, it was a little bit of a learning curve learning these strategies. Throughout my time in Full Sail University Online Bachelor's of Science Media Communications program, I've learned how to be a better visual storyteller, a top-notch digital communicator, and even tapped into my artistic side. I've been given the tools to understand the other side of the fence, the consumer side, on a more in-depth level that doesn't have to do with statistics or crunching numbers to see where the impact lies. Understanding brain-based strategies where I'm able to now understand what color, music, and even font type you can use can either persuade or repel consumers, which can make or break a brand just starting out in the industry. I've learned a lot, but there's more to learn as I move forward, graduate, and start my profession in media communications.